So here we go. Week 3 of the BKFL, and people are starting to get uppity. Yes, uppity. So you know what? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being the nice guy. I'm tired of going, oh, you have this and you have that. You know what? This week, it's about rivalries. It's about family disputes. It's a war. That's what it is. It's a war. So since it's a war, let's get to the battles of the war. And we're going to start with, as always, we'll start with my team, Lucha Libre. And this week, yeah, screw the pooch. That's the title of my week. Pooch has been screwed. So let's start out with Team Lucha that absolutely just fell apart. I started all the wrong guys. And even if I started the right guys, Michael would have kicked my butt. So it's Team Lucha versus Let's Rock and Roll, which is Michael versus me. Hebrew Heat. In case you want to know my name, that's my name when the mask is on. Hebrew Heat. So, Carson Palmer, Pooch, screwed. Okay? Cedric Benson, not bad. A catching touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Very proud of Cedric. Pierre Thomas, 31 rushing yards, 61 reception yards. Not bad. Chad Ochocinco, T.O., I mean, nobody did anything for me. Wes Welker, I mean, combined, they had 20 points. Chris Cooley, okay, 10 points for a tight end, not bad. Kicker and defense, Pooch, screwed, you know the deal. So, I ended up with 117 points and 136 on my bench. Even if I started everybody, I probably wouldn't have beat Mike. So, let's go over to Mike. Tom Brady, 64 points. Maurice Jones-Drew, 10. Adrian Peterson, 5,000 points. Okay, it was a good pick. But you didn't draft. Now, did you, Michael? No. Okay. Reggie Wayne, 10 points. Randy Moss, 20 points. Not bad. Deshaun Jackson is a personal favorite of mine, 27 points. Good job. Jason Witten, 12. And kicker and defense did all right, except the defense for the Jets putting up 27 points. Very impressive. Mike gets a total of 218. Everybody left on his bench didn't score as much as the starters. So there you go. 124 on his bench, but he takes the win and the league lead. So from the bottom of my heart, Mike, screw you. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next team. Hawaii 5-0 versus Flying Dutchman. That's Michaelis Pelakis Bosakis versus Suzanne Anani. I don't know. I can't come up with anything. All right, Hawaii 5-0. Phillip Rivers, 76 points on 455 passing yards. 455 yards. Incredible. CJ2K, 24 points, 125 rush yards. I like it. I like it. Tim Hightower, yeah. I thought he'd do a lot better against the Raiders, but he didn't. Megatron, Calvin Johnson, 11 points. Colston, 6, not too good. Hakeem Nicks, 12, turning out to be a very good superstar. Antonio Gates, 23 points, a monster. Kicker, nothing. But the Dolphins D gets her 19 points. Good job, Dolphins D. She ended up with 184, and she left 144 on the bench. It's going to be interesting to see how she starts next week. 184 total. We go over to the Flying Dutchman. Aaron Rodgers, 73 points, which is very good. Very good for a quarterback. Steven Jackson, 18 points. Richard Mendenhall, 20 points. Andre Johnson for Houston, 10 points. Steve Smith for the Giants, who's now off his injury, 24 points. Or excuse me, 19 points. Very good job. 4 points from Miles Austin. We expected a lot more from him. Kicker and defense didn't do really anything. Didn't really leave anybody on the bench except for Brandon Marshall, wide receiver Miami, got 32 points and may have pushed you over on the week, buddy. So you might want to consider starting Brandon Marshall. He's starting to heat up. So 131 on the bench for Michael P. and 144 on the bench for Suzanne. But Suzanne takes the win. Hawaii 5-0 moves up and gets their first win. Congratulations, Hawaii 5-0. And the last matchup, which was fun, it was the Marine versus DJ's Best, which is a father-son rivalry, which we always like to see. And I didn't really have any rivalries with my dad unless I was a Falcon fan, but that was like 1980, 5. Moving on. Moving way on. All right, let's start with the Marine. Peyton Manning, 77 points. Ray Rice, 13 points. Ahmad Bradshaw, 20 points. Very impressive. Anquan Bolden lit it up like a candlestick, even though he doesn't play at Candlestick. 40 points, 3 touchdowns, and they were long. 9 points for Greg Jennings. Thought he'd get more out of him. Hines Ward, 12 points. Wait till Ben Roethlisberger comes back. Sante Shanico, 1 point. Ha! Kicker and defense did all right. Vikings defense actually 20 points. I was very impressed with that. And he ends up with 205 points. He left 131 on the bench. 73 points for Michael Vick. Wouldn't have helped him. 19 points from Percy Harvin. Would have helped him if he started him in place of Greg Jennings. So Percy Harvin seems to be a week up, week down, week up, week down. So make sure you check your matchups. What else do we got here? Kicker and defense. Pretty good. Vinatieri with 10 and Vikings with 20. So 205 total. 131 on the bench for Jason. Very good. And he will put his 205 points up against Dirk John Boss. And I guess it's a middle name thing this week. I don't know. Catch the feeling, catch the spirit. Drew Brees, 72 points. Very good showing. Darren McFadden, 20 points. From a Raider? Wow. 23 points from Frank Gore. That guy made 100 yards by 2 yards, so that was a close one. Steve Smith, 5 points. Larry Fitzgerald, 10 points. Michael Crabtree, 6 points. And you might want to get rid of Crabtree because it doesn't seem like we have a quarterback or an offensive coordinator or maybe even a coach. I believe in Singletary, but a lot of people questioning him. Vernon Davis ended up with 5 points, and Joe Nedney 6. But the Eagles D end up with 22 points. Very good. And he ends up with 171 points. That's Dirk. Let's see, anybody on his bench he should have started? No. Steelers D ended up with 28, but it's only 6 more points. Wouldn't have helped. And Joseph Knox with 13. And would have been your high-scoring wide receiver of the week. So you might want to keep an eye on Joseph Knox again. And so 131 and 126 respectively on the bench. But Jason takes the win and beats his dad 205 to 171. It's interesting. Things are heating up. Guess what? Bye weeks. Bye weeks are now back, so it's going to be very interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the league because then we can do this correctly. Let's Rock and Roll moves into first and takes Lucha Libre out of first into second. Coming up in third is the Flying Dutchman. In fourth is the Marine with a green arrow going up, which means he is rising. Very good, Jason. I know you called me 3 times to make sure that I said something special about you, so I don't care. I don't. Okay. Number 5 is DJ's Best, going down 1 slot from last week. And picking up the slack is Hawaii 5-0, although she did get her first win. You have to realize that it's still so early in the season. It really doesn't mean anything at this point. Everybody's separated by 1, maybe 2 wins from the leader. And points are within 50. So everything's very close. Everybody set up your lineups really carefully this time. If your player's on a bye, when you put in your starting lineup under the My Team tab, it will just say bye. It won't see any stats or anything, so it's really easy. Please use your player comparison tool because it helps you cheat your butt off. It does. The league is really heating up, and you're really going to have to pay attention to what you're doing. Keep an eye on your matchups. Keep an eye on the waiver wire because championships are won on the waiver wire. And best of luck as you watch my team crumble out of first and probably end up in last thanks to Carson Palmer, who can't throw a ball. That'll do it. So let's recap with one final time. Hawaii 5-0. Yay! DJ's Best. Yay! The Marine. Yay! Flying Dutchman. Yay! Lucha. Yay! Let's Rock and Roll. Boo! Boo! I got my, you know what? I got my eye on you. This ain't over. It's just getting started.